Call me Snake. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I do truly appreciate it. And I'm a little bit excited because I got a book in the mailbox. It has arrived. It has arriven. It has arrived. The friendly neighborhood mail lady has hooked the brother up along with an eBay seller all the way from Mascoutah, Illinois, if you will. Illinois. I know, Illinois. But this is a movie novelization for the movie called Escape from New York, the John Carpenter film starring Kurt Russell, one of the all-time greats, at least in my lifetime. The movies that I love. Not necessarily the best movies, but the movies that I love most, and Escape from New York is definitely on that list of movies that I love most. And I collect movie novelizations for movies that I dig, and I've got a couple different versions of this Escape from New York movie novelization, and I'll show you a couple that I have, and then I'll show you one that I ordered online and maybe do a little explaining on why I ordered it. Let me explain something to you. But this is the first edition, first print movie novelization of Escape from New York, a novel by Mike McQuay, based upon a screenplay by John Carpenter and Nick Castle, now a major motion picture. And there is the first edition, first print movie novelization for Escape from New York. And most collectors, at least all collectors that are like me, because if you're like me, then you're like me. But all collectors that are like me, and many other collectors, when they collect books, especially vintage books, they want to have first edition, first print copies of that book. And this is the first edition, first print copy. When this book was released in novelization form, in a novel form, this was the first one that came out. Just like this right here. And this is a nice copy, a beautiful high condition, whatever you call it, minty mint. Nice copy. Glad to have it on the shelf. Glad to have it in the collection. But wait, there's more. And there's a bit of a conundrum. See, I don't consider myself a completist, but if there's one thing I know for sure, I like a lot of versions of things that I like. And I stumbled upon, at one point, this copy right here of the movie novelization for Escape from New York, a novel by Mike McQuay, based on a screenplay by John Carpenter and Nick Castle. And if you notice, the illustration on the front cover, it's not a photo, but it resembles a little bit of what the movie might have looked like. It's not an exact scene from a movie, but it looks kind of like a good version of a theme from the movie. If you gave this story to an illustrator and said, draw me up a picture of Snake Plissken in a rotted out, busted up, nearly post-apocalyptic New York City that's been turned into a prison, and all the bad guys have been sent there to live without any sort of rules or regulation or governing body, except for if you try to leave, you will die. That's a pretty good version of what an illustrator might come up with. So the artwork, we'll see if we can figure out who did it. But this is not a first edition, first print copy. This is, in fact, a fourth print copy. And you can see here, sometimes in books, each new print edition, sometimes at some point they'll change the cover illustration. And I was looking to see if I could briefly find out who did this picture on the front. And I don't want to spend all day. Cover art by E.T. Stedman. So E.T. Stedman drawn up or painted up a pretty good illustration of this first edition, fourth print copy of Escape from New York from Spectra. Right there it is, Daddy. And so I saw this. I had the opportunity to get it at one point a long, long time ago, and I did. I got it. But along the way, somewhere, I don't remember, I stumbled into an eBay listing that had that book with the movie poster cover. And I thought, I have to get that. And I don't remember. It was such a faint memory that I didn't get it. Didn't end up with it. And after a while, I started wondering, did I make a mistake? Was I looking at a picture of a DVD and I was confused, or did it really exist? And then recently, I was on a Facebook group, and I'll put a link in the description, a Facebook group for movie novelizations. And it's a neat group. And somebody posted a thank you. Thanks for the heads up. $49.99. They bought the one that I had almost turned into a myth in my own brain. And I missed it. I had a saved search on eBay. And then I started thinking, you know what? I'm seeing these listings for books that I already have so many times. I'm not seeing that one. So I just deleted my notification thing and I stopped looking. And so I missed that one. For $49.99, I missed it. And I thought, dang, how did I miss that? I knew how I missed it, but I was disappointed. You see, I wasn't jealous. See, I don't get jealous. I just get pissed off when people have things that I want and don't have. And that's what happened then. Disappointment. Not jealousy. But anyway, sure, I reinstated my eBay search reminder gimmick where it tells me every time something is listed that fits the criteria that I put in place. And boom, another one popped up for a little bit more than that one was. But low enough to where I hit buy it now. And then I went back and read the description to make sure I was buying it now, what I was thinking I was buying it now. I didn't want to miss out over technicalities, like it could be phony or fake or a joke or not real or anything like that. But the friendly neighborhood mail lady has delivered, and the package is in the mailbox. And here it is, Serving in Time. Serving in Time, series edited by Roger Elwood, 95 cents from Kmart. And then also the book that I ordered. So the seller threw in a free copy of a book that I'll have to take a little closer look at. But here it is. This is that mythical novelization that I had almost convinced myself that I had a fever dream or there was a glitch in the Matrix and it didn't really exist. I didn't see what I thought I saw. Right there it is, Escape from New York, with the movie poster on the cover. 1997 New York City is a maximum security prison. A master criminal's mission to rescue the captive U.S. president. A novel by Mike McQuay, based upon a screenplay by John Carpenter and Nick Castle, and Avco Embassy Pictures release. And there it is again. There's the spines. And there's the back. That picture looks like the one from that first edition, first print copy. Now, it's not perfect, and I didn't need it perfect. I just wanted it. I wanted it to be decent. And it's better than decent, better than I expected. And this is a second print, 19 cover art, 1981, Avco Embassy Pictures, copyright 1981 by Slam Dunk Productions. And it's a second print copy. So you see right here, the number line, instead of going down to 1 for a first print, goes down to a 2. So it is a first edition, second print, with the cover art that should have been on the first print. But I got it. And it's here, and now I have 3 different versions of the same dadgum book, all because I got different covers. And it's an important one to me. This is a special movie to me. It's one that I've enjoyed for a variety of reasons for a long, long time, a sentimental favorite. And there are movies out there that I love, and when I judge them on the normal criteria that you would judge a movie based upon, whether it be acting or writing or holes in the plot or a great procession of the story, however that goes, a 3-act play, all that kind of stuff, the great finish, realism, realistic action, realistic storyline, all those things that you might use, the writing, the dialogue, to judge a good movie. There are movies out there that might not judge so well on those typical movie scales that I just love more than all the rest for different sentimental reasons. A lot of times it's movies from my childhood or from my teen years, or movies that I watched with friends and we enjoyed it and we would joke and talk about it for years and years up to this date in some cases, which is also the case here. Classic actors that I loved, whatever, 80s action. There's different reasons why I love a movie, and it's not always based upon that being a great movie by the typical criteria that you would judge movie greatness on. In fact, a lot of those great movies that are judged so highly, a lot of them I may have watched and thought that was a good movie and never really wanted to watch again. No insult to them, but also some of my favorite movies are considered great movies. Like my two favorites would be Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock starring James Stewart and Grace Kelly, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly starring Clint Eastwood and Eli Wallach, the Sergio Leone classic. They're both considered great films, and they are my favorites. But there are a lot of other movies that I love and that I watch regularly, sometimes annually, sometimes every 3 or 4 years. Movies that I really and truly love that could not be considered great. Escape from New York is one of them. Although it's not awful, it's not great, but I love it. There are others. There are others that are more embarrassing than that. Maximum Overdrive. Maximum Overdrive. It's not even a good movie, but I love that movie. Commando. Arnold Schwarzenegger classic Commando. I love that movie, and I can laugh at it and love it at the same time and enjoy every minute of that movie. And again, I can't really tell you why I love it. It's a period of time in my life that is captured in that moment, and when I watch that movie, I feel those same feelings again. So a lot of times that stuff happens in the lines, whatever. Something trips a trigger, flips a switch, you dig it. That stuff just happens sometimes. So you dig it. Can't explain it. You just dig it. Popeye with Robin Williams. I'm almost embarrassed to tell you. I love that movie, and I love it every time I watch it. I still love it. Anyway, this is a book that I was proud to be able to get, and I'm dang sure proud that it's shown up, and it looks like it looks, and I got it in the collection. And now it brings up another question. And this sort of a question may exist in many different forms and circles. But when I think about books, and I think about first edition, first print books being the cat's meow, being the ticket, which one's better? Which one's more important? If you only had one, which one would you get? And in this case, that is, for me, that's a tough one. You might not care, because you might not care about novelizations. You might not care about Escape from New York. Whatever. You might not like anything about this video. What's wrong with you? It's a good video. I did a good job. But anyway, which one is it? This one has that movie poster cover. It's the first edition, second print. When I think of novelizations, a big draw for me is movie and book connection. And this is movie and book connection in every sense of the word, from the story to the title to the cover artwork. And this one is the first edition, first print. A collector of books typically is going to say that's the cat's meow, a first edition, first print copy. So maybe this one is more important. Now, that being said, I've knowingly seen 3 of these for sale on eBay since I've been looking for this book. I don't know, for years. And there, I'm sure I've missed some, but 3 that I've noticed, and one I noticed after the fact when somebody posted on Facebook, haha, I got one. Thanks for the heads up, and I missed it. And I was not jealous. I didn't like that person very much. Stole my book. Just kidding. But I've seen this one for sale many, many, many times. In fact, on eBay right now, there's probably quite a few of these on there right now available for sale. So I don't know if they made more first prints and the second print's more rare, or people saved the second prints, or the second prints just got thrown away because people didn't care about novelizations or whatever. I don't know. Can't explain it. But I'm kind of torn because I'm a book collector. The traditional sort, first edition, first prints matter. Hardcovers are certainly better if they were the first edition, first print, but a soft cover, if it was first edition, first print, very important too. Second print is less than. But in a case like this, I don't know. I think I'm more excited about getting this one in the mailbox than I was about getting this one in the mailbox, if that means anything. So I don't know which one matters most. I don't know. Honestly, at the end of the day, I kind of got to go with the movie poster image. And I had the same sort of a conundrum with the novelization for, ironically enough, another John Carpenter film, Halloween. Great film. Now that one I love sentimentally, and it's pretty much considered a great film for what it is. But that one, the first edition, first print copy, had, would you think, is Michael Myers with a jack-o'-lantern head and a ghost-type sheet over his body on the front cover. And then the subsequent prints had the movie poster with the jack-o'-lantern and the knife built into it and stuff like that. And I bought this movie poster cover, but honestly, that was the one I wanted most. But honestly, I just didn't want to spend the money for the first print copy of that one. Way far more expensive and as common, but far more expensive than the subsequent prints. In this case, the first print seems to be more common and more available. So the rarity feels like it goes there. But I think my taste, I take this one over this one, but I don't get rid of this one because this is the one that matters. And this is the one that to me, I kind of like better. If that means anything, I don't know. With that being said, I can think of no more lies to tell. So thank you for your time. I do truly appreciate it. And c'est la vie, baby. Name's Pliskin.